Why doesn't the Chinese government like BYD's sales strategy?
Well, I think it's important to note that Beijing hasn't explicitly come out and named any car makers here, although a lot of commentators have sort of assumed that BYD is the company they're talking about. And they came out over the weekend in the People's Daily, which is essentially the mouthpiece of the Chinese Communist Party, criticising this sort of rat race that is now taking shape in China's EV market. Price war has been a feature of this market since about early 2023. We've seen car maker after car maker sort of slash their prices continuously, and it's sort of resulted in this downward spiral, and it's really eating into automakers' margins. Good news for consumers, although with the lackluster economic environment in China at the moment, it doesn't seem to be driving perhaps as many people into showrooms as the automakers would like. And one of the concerns that the government has is that it's saying, you know, these sort of lower priced and lower quality products could seriously damage the international reputation of made in China vehicles. Just as a time, I think it would be fair to say that made in China vehicles are actually starting to come onto their own into the world stage. Certainly in BYD's case, we're seeing them exporting to a number of markets around the world, particularly into Europe, into Southeast Asia, and their cars are being, you know, reviewed as being very good quality, packed with very high-tech technology, and certainly also value for money.
And so is what we're seeing now just a BYD issue, or is it more systemic across China?
So BYD has not been the only car maker cutting prices. BYD late last month sort of kicked off another round. They cut prices by as much as 34% across various models. And that, of course, saw other automakers follow suit. Geely, Leapmotor, they all announced price cuts of their own. I think for BYD's case, it's interesting to see what effect that's having on its sales. We had sales numbers for May for BYD out yesterday. And even though May was actually the best month for BYD so far this year in terms of sales volumes, month on month, it was only, year on year rather, it was only up 15%. Now that's the slowest growth for BYD since about August 2020, barring one particular month in February over the Lunar Year. So you are seeing BYD's growth slowing. Now, BYD has set a target of about 5.5 million vehicles in 2025. Currently, you know, 1st of June, 2nd of June, we're at a run rate of 1.76 million. Now, if you extrapolate that out, that you only gets to about 4.2 million. So it's looking quite short for BYD. And I think there are some concerns about, you know, whether this car-making juggernaut can actually meet its full-year targets. Important to note, though, fourth quarter sales for all automakers in China are usually pretty strong, as car makers tend to sort of, you know, get people in the showrooms towards the end of the year.